Hey guys, so I have started kind of pre-sketching this out. I'm doing it on watercolor paper. I think this is 9 by 12. It's a smaller one, okay? So size doesn't, you know, whatever size paper or whatever medium you want to use. I just decided to use watercolors because, as I've told you in the past, you know, there's just kind of a spring, summery feel that I get with watercolors. Now, you can use them any time of the year, but this was just something that I had figured that I would do. So the theme was, you know, kind of how I spent my summer, or what kind of gives you that summertime feel or whatever. And as some of you know, I spent quite a lot of time at the ballparks this year. Does that show up? Over the summer. So I had thought it would be fun to do a ball field picture. Now obviously painting from real life is best, but you know, if you can't paint from real life, you can use photographs, and what better to use than your own photographs, because again those are you know, yours, and so there's a personal attachment to it. This is a picture that I took at some of our local ball fields. There was this beautiful sunset kind of there in the background, and so I had to snap a picture. So I am going to do my best to kind of recreate this. So I'm gonna put this over here so I can take a look at it. Now again, as I said, I kind of already lightly sketched some of this in so that you know, you might see it in the background there. I have not gridded this out or anything like that. This is going to be one of those just kind of fun, eyeballing it, loosey-goosey kind of paintings, and we'll see how it goes. So the biggest thing is my lines here, and as some of you know, I am straight line challenge, so I'm gonna try to do my best here to get those lines just so. Alright, and then I've got my home plate here, because I got second base back there, I got first base here, third base is kind of tucked out here. Maybe I can kind of squeeze that in over here. So there's my third base. And then this is kind of like one of the t-ball / softball fields, but let's do our best to try to get a decent home plate in here. And then I got my first base line kind of right here, so I'm gonna try to make a note to myself here. I can always go over this with gouache or you know, white watercolor. I don't really want to use acrylics here if I don't have to, because I want to keep it kind of consistent, but I can always go over it with gouache. Gouache is often used with watercolor. It's an acrylic, but it kind of works like a opaque watercolor. It's kind of fun. I'm trying to get better at working with the medium, so we can always use, I can always use that if I need to kind of block any of these out better with white. And then this is going to be our third base line here. So we're going to take that down the third base line. Alright, and then I'm not going to do any of the circles or anything else. I might put like a little plate out here so that you can see where the picture stands. That would be right in between the two and right in between the two. So somewhere right around there. And then from here, I kind of have some swirlies. This is where I'm gonna kind of put my line, my horizon line. So this will be my green grass right in through here. And then I've got some trees. I don't want them to take up too much though, because I really want the focus to be on the field, the baseball field, and this awesome sunset in the back. So that's going to be my main focus. So whether you're in real life, whether you're working for a picture, you know, pull out the things that really stand out to you the most and put that in as your kind of boom, your excitement, your, you know, focus. So I am going to start working on painting this, and I will see you on the other side. Okay guys, so as I said, I did this picture in a watercolor. You can do it in any medium. Again, this is just something fun to kind of celebrate summer and how you celebrated your summer. Just kind of maybe a memory, memento of, you know, what you did over the summer. So I chose to use watercolors. I know they can be a trickier medium, and some people like them, some people don't. They just take a lot of getting used to, is what I have to say. So if you have a little artist who seems drawn to watercolors, I would encourage them not to get frustrated. The really cool thing, as you can see that I'm doing with this sunset sky here, is allowing these colors to play around and blend together. The other nice thing about watercolors is that they will move on the paper, but they're only going to move where there's water. So as you can see, the first thing that I did was to put the water down up on the sky, because that was going to be where I was working. You can see that the paper is still a little wet. And so the watercolors are going to move around in that area, but that's the only place that they're going to go. You see, it hasn't gone down south of where I had put that water. So where the tree line is and everything below that is still dry right now, and the watercolors aren't going to go there. So a lot of it's just learning how to control the medium. The other thing that is pretty exciting about it is how the colors will kind of play and blend together. So when you're doing things like the sunsets, sunrises, you're going to get some really fabulous colors if you allow them to kind of play around. So here I am going to start putting in that clay colored dirt for the baseball field. And if you saw, I went in with plain clear water first and marked out the areas where I want the watercolors to go. And like I said, they will move around, but only where there is water. I'm not putting in the tree line. If you've seen some of my other watercolor videos, one thing I would recommend to try to help to keep control of the medium is to work in, let the places that was dry or the wet dry first before you start working in an area next to or adjacent to it. So I'm allowing that sky to dry and working on the areas down below it. The other thing that you can do to help with this is to break up your paintings over a couple days, or even have it during one day, but break it up during the day to allow those areas to dry. So this in total took me, with the sketch and the painting, maybe 45 minutes to an hour total. I did break it up over the course of, I think 2 days, worked on it a little bit at a time with the different areas. And that's one great way that you can do this. If you remember if you went to, kind of a brick and mortar school, with some of these things, most of our art projects weren't done in one sitting. So don't be worried if your art projects aren't done in one sitting either. It's totally okay. Most paintings aren't done in an hour. Even sometimes some sketches aren't done in 15, 30 minutes or an hour. It's fun to do those quick little sketches and things like that. But it's totally okay to
give yourself the space as well. The other thing I really like with watercolors is that they dry lighter than you put them down. Acrylics tend to do the opposite. They dry darker than when you put them down. Watercolors tend to dry lighter, and that makes it really, forgiving. Everyone thinks of watercolors as an unforgiving medium. That's not necessarily true, not necessarily the case. Again, it's just learning how to control a medium that is a little out of control and how to work with it to make it a better, more pleasant experience for you. So hopefully some of these tips and tricks will help, again, if you choose to use this, but any medium will do. Whichever one will get you flowing and moving and doing things. That's one thing that I have really been working on myself is, after a summer off, a couple months off, from really spending a lot of daily creative time, it was a little difficult to get back into it. And you may be feeling the same way, kind of like with getting back to school, right? Sometimes that break is awesome, but it kind of, for me, it makes it a little bit more difficult sometimes to get everything, those juices flowing and get back into a routine again. So for me, it was just forcing myself to start doing things again, sketching in my sketchbook and painting and making sure that I was spending the time doing it. And that could be the case for you as well. I don't know. Sometimes just for some of you, have told me that you don't really do art in your classroom. So for you, maybe just putting it on your daily schedule and say, okay, Friday we're doing art. For us, Fridays tend to be our lighter days of school. My boys tend to kind of load up. We load up on our other classes and things during the week so that Friday can be a little bit lighter day and an earlier day ending. So, it might be good for you to have one of those days during the week. And on that lighter day, allow yourself to have some creative time, art time, or whatever. And, try and play around with different mediums. We are certainly going to do that with Don't Forget the Art this year, playing around with some different mediums so that we can, experience different things and find some things that you like and figure out what things you don't.
Alright guys, here is my finished product. I hope you like it. How did I spend my summer vacation? I spent my summer vacation at the ball field. So again, this was watercolor that I used, but you could certainly use any medium for this project. I like the simplicity and the blending that you can get with watercolor. Which is one of the reasons why I chose it. Now, I certainly could have gotten a whole lot more detailed in here if I really wanted to, and that's one of the wonderful things about the way that we are doing these projects, is that you can tailor them to your abilities, your child's abilities. If you want to get more detailed, you can get more detailed. If you want to keep it simple, you are certainly welcome to do that. It is art, and the wonderful thing is, yeah, there's some rules. But, sometimes rules are meant to be broken, and art can be as simple or as complex and detailed as you want it to be. The most important thing is that you are getting those creative juices flowing and you are having fun. And for me, after a long summer off, spending a lot of time at these ball fields, it was a lot of fun getting creative with you again. I am super excited about this school year. I have already started filling up my calendar about what we are going to be working on this year, and I hope that you join me. And I'm really excited to see these. Now, you can post your pictures of your completed projects. If you're on our homeschool Facebook group, you are welcome to post them there. You can also post them, I believe, in the comments on our Don't Forget the Art page. Also, if you just post them yourself and you use the hashtag Don't Forget the Art, I can find them that way. I really appreciate you being here with me today. I cannot wait to see what amazing creations you come up with. In the meantime, happy arting, everyone. Enjoy.